There we go.
Turn on. Is everybody
Ladies
on?
and gentlemen, at 6 o'clock, we're going to call the meeting to order.
Everybody on,
You
please.
turn your mics on here. Son. That was one yours didn't come on. Uh-huh.
I think I need a new battery. That's the one I put up there.
You need batteries?
Yep.
Duracell, that's right. We've got that copper top.
Excellent.
All right, folks, it's now 6:01.
people.
I will officially call the meeting to order. Welcoming all visitors and welcome any public comment that would be unrelated to any of our agenda items. Seeing none, Scott, I'm going to go to you for changes to the agenda.
Under other business, I would like to set a date and time for a dog complaint, a public hearing. No other changes.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to approve the minutes of June 17th, 2025. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Move to approve the minutes of June 17, 2025.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion to second to approve the minutes of June 17th, 2025. All those in favor?
Tony wasn't here.
I'll second.
Tony, you can't vote, okay?
Roger that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, Scott?
Under action items, the select board to possibly approve a client resolution with M&T Bank. The client resolution is housekeeping, but it
Right.
requires a resolution, so we thought we would bring it to your attention. And the client resolution is a certificate of treasury management and other resolution. And the named client, of course, is the town of Wilmington, and Christine Richter is the duly appointed member, I would say, authorized to certify the approved actions of the town, the government entity in the state of Vermont. And the resolution says that each person designated below, the client's TM signer, what is TM? Okay, yeah, well, anyhow, it's M&T Bank, has been duly elected or appointed to and qualified for the title of positions noted. Treasury Management, thank you. Appointed to and qualified for any of the title positions noted below, and that on the date of this client resolution, such person holds such title and position. Each signature appearing below is a true and correct specimen of the signature of the person whose signature purports to be, and the contact information appearing below is true and correct for such a person. Christine Richter is treasurer, and we would just be e-signatures, 100% e-signatures, and myself as town manager. There's nothing to sign, just to approve the resolution.
All right, I move to approve the client resolution with M&T Bank for 2025.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 I believe the fire chief is here. And so the select board to possibly accept the boat and trailer gifted to the fire department from the fire association. And I think there's a story behind this.
No. Yeah. So we received a boat about 3 weeks ago. We got it with a grant from the Gary Sinise Foundation. They paid 100% for our boat.
That's, we like to hear that.
The association itself added, I believe, another $2,000
Just under 8,000 altogether.
Was it altogether? Yeah. So they added another 8,000 out of our association fund for extra things that we wanted added on the boat. So it costs the taxpayers nothing. So we want to, the association would like to gift this to the town of Wilmington so we can get it registered and you guys can own it and take full responsibility for it.
And the maintenance.
And the maintenance, yeah. So,
I could read a little description of the boat if you guys haven't seen it or know nothing about it.
I've seen it online.
You've seen it?
Actually,
Okay.
it's pretty well discussed.
Very
Yep.
nice.
Good, just wanted to make sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's
It's quite an upgrade too, isn't it?
rubber
duck that we have.
20,
That's my point, yeah.
just 20 years, we've been, close to 20 years. we've been
25 years.
Been trying to do this.
So,
Nice.
It's amazing we've gotten it through this long without.
Yeah.
the assistant chief took his under his belt and did it himself. He said, you know what, let's try it. And of course, figuring the way we've been getting grants these days, we didn't figure we would get it. And sure enough, 100%.
Does Gary want to buy us a new fire truck?
I do. No, we don't need a new fire truck.
No, you never know.
No, we don't need a new fire truck.
So if you're not familiar with the actor, he was Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump, right?
Yep.
And he began this after September 11th, 2001, when he was visiting New York firehouses and created this fund to support, I think, first responders, especially firefighters.
And veterans, big time supporter of veterans.
He had a Lieutenant Dan band that he visited all the different places where troops were, I think Kuwait, Afghanistan, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Italy, a lot of places. Kind of interesting.
So just a lesson that if anybody's afraid to put in for a grant, put in for it, because we never thought we'd get it. So Billy just came to us one night and said, hey, by the way, I put in for this grant, and then bang. 100%.
Christmas in July, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Got a nice little boat. We've taken it out a couple times. It's gonna be perfect for what we use.
And we've been seeing Chief Good test over a lot more. Our calls for water rescues
Yeah.
has really increased a lot. We've had several. These
Yeah.
last few years, I mean, close to, I don't know, maybe half a dozen a year, but I mean,
Since the pandemic.
And their
the lake
emergencies.
has really picked up.
Well, the thing is people get hurt out, don't say nothing. People get hurt out on the ledges, and it's easier for us to get to them with a boat than it is to carry them out. So we can just take the boat.
Usually in heavy winds too.
Usually, yes.
Yes. All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the boat and trailer gifted to the fire department from the Fire Department Association.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the boat and trailer gifted to the fire department and the Fire Department Association. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the gift.
It's nice to have good
Under
news, Richard.
police departments, I think the police chief is coming up. The select board to possibly approve the updated Whitingham policing contract is the first item.
Has there been any change in the?
there has been no change to it. Just the
Okay.
dates have changed and the pay rates reflect the cost of living allowance effective July 1st.
Okay.
And the mileage rate increased as well.
And has Whitingham, we had a chance to look at this, or Joshua?
They signed it, they sent it to me for a renewal. So that's why we landed here.
Okay.
Everybody's been happy, both sides.
We haven't got any complaints, so that's a good sign.
No service, the phones have no service.
Oh, well, there you go.
All right. Anyone else have any questions? If
So
not-
are we breaking even on costs?
Sorry?
Are we breaking even on cost?
We charge a additional rate in the contract for admin services as well, so that's the process, like the invoices, et cetera. So we actually we come out a little ahead, but it's not a money-making apparatus for
So we're
us,
not losing money.
but we're not losing money, correct?
Would somebody like to make a motion?
I move to approve the updated Whitingham policing contract
All right.
for
Do you have a second?
2025.
All right, we have a motion to second to approve the updated Whitingham Policing contract for 2025. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Scott? I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry.
You can sign that one, Tom, please.
I can't.
The next item under Police Department is the Select Board to possibly approve the purchase of new tasers from Axon Enterprises in the amount of $37,440.
What happens to the old faces, tasers?
They should buy them back from us. If they do not, then we will attempt to sell them within the state to another police agency to recoup some costs on them. This is a comprehensive contract with Axon, which is the parent company to Taser. Taser is the sole source provider of conducted electrical weapons really in Vermont and nationwide. We started conducting electrical weapons with the police department in 2015. Our current Taser, the X26P, came out from Taser in 2013. We adopted it for use in 2015. At a recent instructor update, I was informed the X26P, our current model, is now being phased out. We have found that they won't even repair them for us anymore. So we send it back. They just tell us you need a new one. So knowing that in the future, near future, we were going to have to enter into a new agreement to purchase updated equipment. Currently, we haven't kept our fleet of tasers replaced, so not every officer has one at this point. So we either, if you work in shift and short, you go without, or we rotate them as best we can. The new taser now, this is a third generation improvement on this device over our current one. So we're not buying every, release of these tools. We get as much mileage and use out of them as we can. At this point, Taser is stopping service repairs, but they also no longer carry an insurance policy on our tasers. So if we're involved in a taser use, Taser does not have legal insurance support for our use of them. This contract provides a little cushion there because we would go back under their warranty and kind of under their umbrella policy. It doesn't gain us a lot or any real liability coverage, but it does add Axon to the pool of potential parties that could be sued. And of course, they have very deep pockets. So
Like to hear that too.
always good to have them involved if we have to be involved. So this contract also provides a comprehensive upgrade into the Taser training program that we have. This brings in a Taser virtual reality training program, which we will own. We will have at our office set up where the officers can, if they have time on shift, they can actually go in, enter into a graded process, performance-based training program, and they can run VR simulations of essentially real-life scenarios to improve their skills. Not just in skills in the use of the tool, but also in de-escalation and conflict management. So this is really a great comprehensive improvement for us in what we have now. And the tool is far more capable. So currently, our tasers are about a 12-foot distance for actual successful use. These current ones allow us to have a standoff distance of about 40 to 42 feet. So considerable greater distance, which allows us, when dealing with somebody with an edged weapon or an impact weapon, a much safer distance to deploy a taser to try a less lethal approach to stopping that threat.
I have a question. I read the bill or the estimate. Roughly, how much do you spend annually on training for the weapon? When I mean, how much ammo, I guess, the question would
So
be.
the minimum requirement from the manufacturers, you have to, with our current device, you have to discharge 2 live cartridges in a training environment every year at a minimum.
Okay.
So we pay about $25 to $30 a training cartridge, but that doesn't include the officer's training time, the overtime, the wear and tear on the devices, of course, which, every time you use them, it takes their service life down. So there are other costs. In addition to that, we have to maintain instructors. So you have to go to the manufacturer's course every year. This contract actually provides for that for the 5 years. So currently, I think the cost is about $800 per instructor every 2 years. So it costs us about $800 per year. And that is embedded in this as well. This also includes all the training cartridges we will need for 5 years. And it includes a use of force simulator cartridges that we can also use for our own real life scenarios with this device. So it gives us a number of training steps that we don't currently have, including the VR platform, but it also gives us the ability to actually introduce tasers to our scenario trainings that we do.
Thank you.
Another question on the training, on the software. Their software expires in 2030, but then it's a 6-year plan, but then a 4-year on the software. So will we have to pay for it for the last 2 years?
My understanding is, regardless of the software, including updates, as long as we're current in the program, they will provide. So that includes like lessons. So when a new VR scenario comes out, we can actually have access to that downloaded in our system as well. So, because one of the things we run into all the time is the software licensing problems during our use of equipment. And, we quickly learn that, like, even our dispatch console has software license. And even though we may get 10 years out of that console, the license was only good for 3 years. So we did factor that in and asked for it to be included in here as well.
Thank you.
All right.
But it's not listed as included.
There is some additional, I don't know which page you're on, but I think it's very hard to read through this fine print. But it is based in here. So they have the taser skills user access and the data science program for the 5 years on the contract listed on page 5. And my understanding is that includes all the licenses and the updates to the actual training programs as they come out.
Just curious what the difference is between live, halt, and inert.
So the halt cartridges are part of a training simulation that we could do in real life. They are like a taser cartridge, and instead of a probe for penetration, it has a hook and loop attached head on it, sort of like a bullet. And then we have included in this is a halt suit you'll see on the list. And that's a suit that officers can wear during the scenario trainings so that we can actually produce and fire the tasers at them using these halt cartridges. The inert cartridges are similar to that. They require headgear and heavy clothing because they hit a little harder, but are also used for our simulation trainings.
And live is obviously the ones that you're gonna use on duty.
Sorry?
The live ones are the actual ones that you're gonna use on duty.
They are, and we're still required to discharge at least 2 a year. So there are built-in numbers in there on the live cartridges, because we don't use that many cartridges in the line of duty here, thankfully. However, because everybody has to shoot at least 2, they are factored into this as well.
That's it.
So really, this should be a one and done. And we started negotiating this contract with them, and the original quote was at 53,000, I believe. So we were able to get them down into, narrow this down to $37,440. We did try to strike a bargain, and we were able to cut just shy of, I think, $25,000 almost out of it.
All right. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
By the way, this is coming out of the capital fund, is it not?
It is.
It is, okay.
I make a motion that the select board approve the purchase of new tasers from Axon Enterprises in the amount of $37,440.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Back to it here. Motion to second to approve the purchase of new tasers from Axon Enterprises in the amount of $37,440. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Scott?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I'll go for it. Under the 1% local option tax request, the select board to possibly approve a 1% request from the Veterans Memorial Park. The committee in the
No, we
amount.
just need you, Christine. We just need you. Thank you.
No, make them all.
Thank you. I'm not gonna do it. We know why they're here.
You know why we're here, so you don't need me to like explain anything,
The only
or
thing I'm gonna ask you is, are the donations coming in that slowly or not at all?
they're very slow right now, yeah.
Okay.
We just did a silent auction for the 4th of July fireworks,
Mhm.
and we were really hoping that it would be somewhat similar to our barbecue last year, and it wasn't. We ended up with $1,800. I think several items were probably sold for less than half of what their value was. There weren't many people that
All right.
were interested in doing it. We do have a few things that we're still going to try and do going forward. We have an additional stone that we are going to try and see if there are people who are interested in having their loved ones' names carved into it that are not necessarily from the area. So it's a way to maybe raise some more funds by doing that. And, you know, if we come up with a few other ideas from now to then we'll definitely do them. But we've hit a lot of people, many who have donated multiple times for multiple funds or for multiple reasons. And I think at this point there's a core group of people who really want to see it happen. But trying to get new people interested has been difficult.
Right. And this would come out of the 1%, of which we have over $1 million in that account at this point, do we not?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, and I was gonna say, the million is after the encumbrances. too.
Correct,
So that
okay,
takes
all
into
right.
account everything that you have already promised to other people.
I just want to add that we have applied for several grants that we are eligible for. We've applied for even more grants currently right now. They're really not funding anything that has to do with veterans or memorialization. So we have
Yep.
applied for several grants.
Could you identify yourself?
Samantha Kondracki.
Thank you, thank you.
You don't know Sam, you gotta know Sam.
I want to make sure it's on the record, that's all. Okay. No, I support this 100%. And after looking at the figures and whatever, we're in very good shape here at this point. So I'm not gonna beat this to death. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a motion to approve the 1% request from the Veterans Memorial Park in the amount of $165,628 to finish building the park. All right, we have a motion and a second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Don't go on.
Okay,
Please.
you're up again. Diane, what am I?
We are.
Cyber.
We are.
Okay. I didn't prepare for that, so.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you for coming in and supporting that tonight.
Samantha, thanks for all your hard work raising money.
I didn't want to get Jake all upset either, so and it's good to see Alan and Mike, everybody. This is good. This is good.
Under
Okay.
IT cybersecurity, the select board to possibly accept the bid from Armon for IT and cybersecurity services. The amount would be a total of $39,097.40. Go figure.
I love the 40 cents, you know that.
There is an onboarding fee of $2,165. And then there are a couple of other additions that is included in the $39,097.40. And of course, keeping in mind that this is basically, we think it's the full package, but until they actually do a full audit, there may be some other additions. But as you can see, the amount, the three bids that we got, which we were happy to get 3 bids. You can see that Armon is the lowest. We also talked to people that they've been serving since, I think, 2007, and some others, including police departments, who all seem to be very happy with them. They started as a small startup about 25 years ago, I believe, in New Hampshire, so they're nearby. And they're not international by any means, but they are serving communities similar to our size or other businesses. We talked to them recently to get some better understanding of their services, and the references back up what they told us in person. I think it certainly will be a learning experience for us because we're used to Tim. We're not throwing Tim out. We still need him. There are things that he can do to help with the transition, and there's things that he can do because he's boots on the ground for us. And he's been serving the police department as well as the town for many years. I'm not sure how many years, but many years. And he was part of the process, and he felt that this would be a good company. Of course, the price is much better. Originally, remember, we budgeted probably about $82,000 because that was the first estimate we got several years ago. And we weren't happy with that. And so it's taken us a while to find, I think, the right company, but we would be happy if you could approve Armand.
How is this getting done now?
What's that?
How is this getting done now?
What do you mean, how is it getting
Who's
done?
doing this work now?
Well, that's part of the problem. We work with Tim from Vermont Geeks, and he does the bare necessities. You know, if we have a problem, he comes in and helps us. But other than that, I think Matt has people at his office that try to do the extra things, and Jess and I try to do stuff that's needed here. But none of us are true IT people who really understand what is needed or what we should be doing to protect ourselves. And that's why we started looking into this, I think it was like a year and a half ago, because there's a lot of ways that we felt could be improved, but we don't have the IT experience to really know what those are. So without somebody helping us to know, this is your better backup, this is your better email, this is your better software, these are things you can do to protect the town, this is the better
Help desk.
firewall is, and it helped us to just be able to answer questions on, should we be doing this? And one of the things that I think this group does that is really awesome, and this is something that's kind of worried me, is they actually are going to scam test people in the town.
Train and then test. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a
They're
way
gonna
to
send
help.
phishing emails to people in town and see
It's
if
a
they
way
answer
to
them.
help people understand what
Yeah.
those phishing
Right.
emails are, that they're gonna actually be looking at the most current ones that are out there. And I think that will help a lot. We have, thank God, not in a few years, but we have had 2 employees in the past who did click on an item and luckily weren't scared to say anything, and they actually were able to stop it before it became a severe issue. And luckily, it was one of the lesser items too. It wasn't like the big scams now where it's the ransomware kind of stuff. It was a little bit lesser of an item, but even still, they did not know not to do it, and that's a scary thing. And we get them every day. And some of us have gone to trainings, but not everybody, because it's hard to find trainings. So I think that's going to be one of the best parts of this, is it's going to help people to know what the scams are and how to look out for them.
And they're willing to, once I get the audit done and everything, so it'll be about a 30-day buildup before we go live, but they're willing to meet us where we're at without coming in and deciding that we have to change everything overnight. And so we'll be able to plan and budget for the future. And one of the points that they made, the CEO from the company was online, as well as their technical people. And one of the points he made is, he said, this is not, this is not going away. And our insurance company is also putting out a survey to us every year or so, determining whether or not we have appropriate checks and balances in place. So I think that's only going to get more demanding in terms of keeping us insured as well. I know there is a company in town that suffered some damage within the last couple of years.
Have we, I know they listed 3 references, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Have we spoken to them?
Yeah,
Yep.
I reached out to all of them, and then they sent a couple more police references also to the police department. But we received a response. Interestingly enough, we received a response back very quickly from them, and
they can't say enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So the last, just one last question. So I know the other 2 are much higher, but I don't see the details for the other bids. Do we know that it's apples to apples? But I don't know whether we did kind of a side by side to see if there's anything that is going to be extra cost for us that we're not listing.
We had Tim. That's why we had Tim with us
Okay.
to look. He looked at all 3 of these, and he was satisfied that what we were getting and Armand met what he thought were professional standards. So.
Without being too much. I mean, some of the other 2 seemed like they were going to be doing more than we really need at this point. And they're much bigger companies, if I remember correctly, too.
They met our RFP, all 3 of them. They sent us, the RFP was a blueprint that was done through leagues, and Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns, and the Leahy Institute has some kind of hand in the RFP, because I couldn't have written that. I mean, it was pretty significant.
So in all fairness, RSM is a client of mine in my company, so I don't know if I need to recuse myself from voting after I plan to vote.
My question is about the budget. Is this, the funds for this been budgeted already?
Yes,
And there'll be a remainder now,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Ballpark of it, 70 grand, 60 grand?
That's the remainder?
Yeah,
Probably about 40.
40, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and maybe not, because we still will probably be using Tim to some degree.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right.
I'm sorry, I had one last question. So there's no other like additional costs, just the monthly is what they're coming with? And that includes all of the software and the hardware?
I
That's,
can't say no other, but this is the basic package. that
this
we're
is to get
signing up
us
for.
started, and then once they get in and they really look at what we have, they may be making recommendations for different softwares or different hardwares that we may need. But that was part of the conversation we had with them, was that we want to know what we need to do and what is going to be a priority and what maybe we can budget for the next fiscal year. I mean, it's good that we actually will have some money left in the line item, that if they do come up with some things that are really imperative, that we can hopefully do them right away. Tim has done a couple of upgrades for us recently, so fingers crossed that they'll consider those.
I mean, they talk about a backup storage, which is hardware, which of course is not covered in here. Potentially for business continuity, disaster recovery, which we did not specifically ask for because we don't know what that would be until they come in and audit. So I mean, there could be some hardware upgrades, but that's right now, it sounded like we're gonna be in good shape. They'll come in for 30 days, they'll make recommendations, they'll hook us all up, and then we'll go from there. But this is the basic package for the cybersecurity.
So there
IT
is
services.
backup or there's not backup storage?
Currently,
There, yeah, in this proposal from them.
we're doing backup through our server. We have software, I forget the name of the software.
Carbonite. We have Carbonite that does
Carbonite.
backup.
And then we have our hard server here. We did tell them we're not, at this point, interested in going to the cloud because of recurrent costs. And they said they could easily work with us with that.
All right, folks, all right, so number 6, in fact, I'll make the motion. Move the select board accept the bid from RMON for IT and cybersecurity services.
Second.
All right, we have motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? I'm going to move that we go into the Liquor Commission. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thanks, Christine.
Scott?
The first 3 we'll do together because I believe there will be someone recusing or abstain. A request to cater permit.
What a drinking going on your way, isn't it?
So I make my money.
A request to cater permit for W.I. Foster for an event at Brookbound on August the 10th and August the 30th, 2025, from 4:30 to 10 p.m. A request to cater an open container exemption for an event at Memorial Hall on August 12th from 6 to 10 p.m. catered by W.I. Foster, and a special event permit for Cold Spring Spirits for an event at the Wilmington Inn on July 21st, 2025, from 5 to 9 p.m.
All right. All right. You've heard all of these as stated. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion, we approve all 3.
Oh, there you go, all 3. There you go.
As written.
How about a second for all 3?
Second for all 3.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So we have a motion to second to approve the permits as outlined by the town manager, including the Foster Company, as well as Cold Spring Spirits. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's
And
you.
one-
Aye, yep.
one-
Aye, okay.
and one
I
abstention.
abstain.
You have to abstain. Yes, sir.
Yes, I abstain.
Next one, they actually say it for the record.
Charles Foster abstains. Take me away. We have a
Next, a limited event permit for La Casita at the Blueberry Block Party on August 2nd, 2025, from 4 to 9 p.m. And an open container exemption permit for South Main Street from the intersection of Route 9 East up to South Main Street for La Casita and Vermont Distillers,
That should actually say up to Beaver Street.
up to Beaver Street.
Okay. Up to.
I have a question, or should we wait till we have?
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
So the second item
Is it for the same date and
Oh,
time?
yes.
Okay.
It's the block party, so instead of having each individual
really
licensee
doesn't
have its
identify
own
it.
little section blocked out, we just mark the whole section as no alcohol beyond, rather than having each little section have to be policed.
Yeah.
Makes
That's how
sense.
you've been doing it for the last handful of years.
Makes sense.
Okay, all right. All right. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the limited event permit for La Casita, the Blueberry Block Party, 8/2/25 to 49. And open container exemption permit for South Main Street from intersection Route 9 East up South Main Street for La Casita and Vermont. So,
Two beavers.
Two beavers.
Two beavers.
Okay.
Sorry.
Also 8/12/25.
8/2/25 from the
Okay, all right, good. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chief, I take it you've already reviewed all of these? Yes. I didn't hear any
Find time
complaints.
to
so-
ask.
Why, well, I thought he would have
You know,
complained. just now, right?
sometimes I forget, but I was a little scattered, but we got.
All right, Scott, other business.
We are out of the liquor commission. and
We are
into
on the
other
liquor
business.
commission.
We have
Oh, geez.
a vicious dog complaint that is under investigation. And we have an obligation, since the complainant victim asked for a public hearing. And if everything works well, we'll need the assistance of the police department to serve the dog / offender owner. And if that all goes well, and if we can get it accomplished this week, we would like to make the hearing on the same date that we're getting together to set the tax rate, which would be Monday, the 21st. And did we set a time for the actual? And right now we're trying to verify. So on Monday, I think everyone was notified that we're looking at Monday to set the tax rate. We would like to add this to the select board agenda as a hearing. And I think we're shooting for 11:30 a.m. But I don't know what works for everybody. I think we originally asked for 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can meet, it's your choice. What time?
Monday's okay with me. Time might be a little sketchy. I'll try.
how long do you think it'd be?
Well, the hearings sometimes run. I guess it depends on how much evidence and whether everybody attends. I think the last hearing was what, about an hour maybe?
No more than that.
Roughly an hour, I think, to give everybody their opportunity. We'll send out the packets to everybody in advance so you can see the rules that will be followed for the hearing. And that's sort of, you set the rules the last time in 2024.
Is the 2 o'clock still on for 2 o'clock or is?
Not if we set this one for earlier.
I prefer earlier because I have an hour max from 2 to 3.
Would 11:30 work for everybody?
I'm fine with it as well. I can get it right in my calendar.
So is this, so we're gonna still have the meeting and the hearing?
Yeah, right. It'll be all in one.
So we're not doing the hearing at 11:30, the meeting at 2?
No.
Okay.
No, we'd set the tax rate first and then go into a hearing.
What time is the tax rate meeting?
So if we set the tax rate, let's say we set the tax rate at 11:30, we could schedule the hearing for, let's say, 11:45, and if it takes us a little longer on the tax rate, the hearing will just wait.
So 11:30 on the 21st.
Yes, please.
That's fine.
Thank you.
We could be here as late as 1 o'clock. All right.
2:30.
Thank you.
It's coming Monday.
11:30 on the 21st, correct?
Thank you. If that were to change, we of course will let you know, but we think Jessica and Russ have worked everything out, and we think that time frame, that time table should work.
We're saying
So it's Monday. Okay.
Back to you.
Well, thank you very much. All right, select board members, comments. John?
None.
Tony?
Pass.
Vincent?
None.
I have none. Charlie?
No, nothing really. Bytown Economic Committee meeting last week. I tried looking for the minutes, but I couldn't find them, but the biggest news is they have found a new general manager for Hermitage Club. Bill leaves August, and the new person comes in, I believe, middle of August as well. And then the other news is the chamber is now looking for a new executive director.
Well,
Thought you didn't just buy one.
What was that?
I thought you just hired one.
The chamber is looking for a new executive director.
staffing is
Staffing,
hard, isn't it?
Marianne's moved on, and so the position's posted, and they will come.
Was it Marianne just there like a month?
Was it a month?
Yep, 6 weeks.
You guys must
Yeah, I
be
was wondering when I
rough.
got.
I'm under oath there, so
The other
we
day.
moved on. I had no other business.
The only other business, remember, is the Deerfield Valley
Yes.
News has changed hands.
Change hands.
Yes.
So,
Really?
It was in the paper last week.
I don't
The
read that.
Capitanians have retired.
Wow.
Well, they're
They're
still working
there. Yeah.
through the,
Officially
at least the transition.
We're not managing anymore.
Wow.
Ah, okay. All right, Scott?
We talked about the Sprague property and the FEMA buyout and trying to put in a couple of telephone poles for the abutting neighbor across the river. And GMP has given me enough information, but I'm still waiting for A&R Rivers program to indicate their support. And I asked them several weeks ago, and I am getting back to them now to say, what up? Anyhow.
Is that how the conversation's gonna start?
If I call them, it will be, yeah.
That's the woke approach.
What up?
Okay, VHB's, Jamie Roy is the project manager. We talked about this, bridge number 31. They asked a series of questions to balance out their scoping report, and one of them has to do with the Bank Park, sometimes called the Riverbank Park or the pergola. So they're completing their scoping study for Bridge 31 in the Wilmington Village. As part of their due diligence for the scoping study, VHB is identifying something called Section 4 Sub F resources in the project area based on historic or archaeological resources, significant publicly owned parks, wildlife, and waterfowl refuges. So the question was seeking an answer about the pocket, what they call the pocket park at 2 West Main Street, which was the old bank, of course. And is the park considered by the town to be a significant public park? Has the parcel of land been officially designated a public park in an official town document? Or is the land temporarily being used as a park with a planned future use? I supplied a very lengthy response with the help of people in my office and Therese. And I think it would be helpful if I at least give you most of this, what I responded to it. In light of history, I said, I want to be very careful about what is done to the park if temporarily needed for a walking bridge. So they're talking about putting a footbridge over there as part of their, how do you get people from one end of the town to the other if the bridge is out? And that was one of the possibilities. And then I said, I want to be very careful about the temporary need for a walking bridge, but also how it will be replaced and designed if it is to be a permanent structure along with the bridge replacement. There was a lot of energy, passion that went into this park. There were numerous articles written on the significance of the park and controversies surrounding the vision or rendering that was built after the park burned down and April 7th of 2007. One letter stated that I came across, in the early part of the summer, the town of Wilmington voted to purchase the old bank building lot after the raging Easter morning fire. This presented new challenges to the Wilmington Beautification Committee. They were basically newly minted at that time. How do we, in the short term, turn a pile of rubble into an attractive display, and in the long term, let this important corner again as a sign and a beacon to both residents and tourists alike? Select Board asked at the time that the WBC, Wilmington Beautification Committee, make recommendations concerning the future of this community space. The committee is augmented with many local volunteers working to make Wilmington more attractive with a winter display. So that was prior to the park. In the coming months, the WBC and the Select Board will present some ideas which hopefully will turn this corner in the heart of downtown Wilmington into a welcoming gathering place for a community in the entire Deerfield Valley. WBC will actively pursue grants and donations to help offset the cost of taxpayers. And a final thank you. This was signed by the WBC membership and the chair, who was Lee Schindel at the time. The Deerfield Valley News reported on the progress and controversies between October 2007 and December or June of 2009. They talked about the 1820 sleigh that was reconditioned by Lenny Chapman. Many others worked to add a holiday theme. Interestingly enough, I have it here, the sleigh came from the Bossert family and donated to the town, and of course reconditioned by Lenny Chapman. In June 25th, 2009, the bank park finished ahead of schedule and under budget. In July of 2009, the pergola petition presented to the packed room, and the town, and according to the attorney at the time, which I believe was Mr. Fisher, said the town cannot overrule the pergola permit. Evidently, the place was packed, and Meg Streeter said, she was on the select board at the time, said she thought the pergola issue was settled at town meeting, and her personal feeling is the town had an opportunity to vote on this on March 3rd, 2009. The town attorney, Mr. Fisher, had determined that according to state statutes, a structure such as the pergola is under the town manager's discretion. It looks like articles were written to describe supporters and detractors for the park pergola design. The park achieved the design award in the town of Wilmington, Vermont, March 3rd, 2009 annual town meeting. Voters approved something called Article 8, that the town vote to raise and appropriate $10,000 to pay or match grant money to finish the construction of the park on the town-owned lot formerly known as the bank building. The park posts and limbs were all replaced in 2019. Originally, American elm was chosen since there were 4 limbs on site, and the remainder were donated from Whitingham. The decking is made out of black locust, and the recommendation was to replace the trees with black locust, which was done. Black locust evidently outlives a rock wall by one day. And then there's an entire attached design for the park. At any rate, this is, I just want you to know, this is what I presented for the scoping study, so they understood there is some significance to that. Now, if, in my view, and of course it has more to do with this board than anything else when the scoping study comes out, but if it were to be a permanent structure and they built it so it would blend in with what was already there, regardless of what they have to do in the meantime, and I'm told that there's some stones there with family names on them also that we would have to preserve. But one of the things that would save us money is if that does go in and it became a permanent structure for that area. The water line runs along the bridge, remember? And that water line could hopefully simply be moved over. If we have to cut the water line, that's a whole different cost. And Chris explained it to me, which I cannot explain to you. But there's a significant cost in doing it that way, as opposed to maybe moving the water line. Anyhow, that's pretty much all I had for that.
Run a hose. Run a hose over.
There we go. So in our offices up on the second floor, both the treasurer's office and Jessica have done a significant amount of work in the assessor's office recently. And especially right now, especially Jessica, who's been working closely with Russ. And remember that the grand list abstract was lodged on June the 26th. Notices were mailed on June the 26th, and the first day of grievance was July 10th. A second morning was scheduled for grievances for July 11th. I will just mention that one request for a grievance came in at the last minute via email on the 10th. So they were here until about 5 or so. A quick reply probably within 10 minutes, set a meeting immediately or the next morning, but the grievant never replied until Sunday. The assessor will respond to that grievance. Everyone else was scheduled for that one day and one more for that the following morning. So that was Wednesday and Thursday, right? Wednesday, Thursday, 10th, whatever. I'm sorry, Thursday and Friday, so the 11th and the 10th and the 11th. Meeting will be scheduled between on Friday, July 18th at 11 a.m. It's by statute. Jessica's done all the research on it, but by statute, we have to have a public meeting where the assessor and July 18th, Friday, July 18th at 11 a.m. will officially lodge the grand list. And the
We'll have
select,
a public meeting from the signer, even if he's doing it electronically. Has to be a public meeting.
so it'd be essentially it'd be Jess here and he'll zoom in. And then the select board is scheduled to set the tax rate on Monday, July 21st at 11:30. Fire department donation. On July 10th, Marshall and I spent the better part of an afternoon between 1 and 4 p.m. We met with officials from the state. This is on the stormwater master plan. Remember, I think there were 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are basically 5 projects that they identified. And we went around to every one of them. And then they got interested in Beaver Park, Buzzy Town Park also, where Marshall is doing some work over there. And they liked what they heard from Marshall. He's becoming our resident expert in all things water, wetland, and everything else. At any rate, so we met with a state official, Marie Caduto, WRC, Margot Gia, and then there are others. There are 2 others there that I think were contractors for a full design, right? Contractors, I think.
One's Corey Ross's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so Corey, that's right, Corey Ross's office over in Brattleboro. At any rate, we looked at all the locations. The shopping center, that's private, doesn't have much to do with us. The highway garage, there are 3 areas, and I think they worked out what might or might not be done there. The public safety facility captures stormwater flowing down Beaver Street, suitable for infiltration practices and that sort of thing. Pond Loop, that's Chimney Hill, that's not us directly. I guess it might be us indirectly. And then the Lake Raponda access and Old Stage Road, there's a cross pike there establishing a settling pond. What we agreed to coming out of that meeting is because the Veterans Park would like to go to construction in the spring, the work that they would do would be hand in glove with the Veterans Park and with their architect and landscaper and that sort of thing, because the state does have some money that they can help us with certain parts of the park. So for instance, one example was instead of having a concrete walkway, the walkway would be a something
Yeah, yeah.
permeable. There's some material that they would put down and something you can plow and maintain and things of that nature, which Marshall heard all about. And the other part was to design what they're calling rain gardens that would be, I guess, flowers and bushes and things like that to assist. And I'm not sure exactly how they build it, but they're willing to put some money into this so that we may be able to defray some costs or expand what they thought, what they thought they were going to do in the first place. So that's there as well. In terms of highway, they've been very busy. They're replacing culverts up on Carson Road, something that has been failing in rainstorms, and it was undersized, so they replaced a 15-inch with a 24-inch. Sheer Hill, you remember the chip seal had failed, and they will be here at the end of July to repair the road. Many stumps that where trees were cut down last year, they've gone out and remove the stumps along roads such as Haynes, Boyd, and Ware Road. Ditching on White's Road, cleaning culverts and replacing driveway culverts on Summer Maintenance Grade Road. White Road. Okay, end-to-end. Grading, ditching, Gallup Pitch, Davis Development, grading Old Ark Road, ditching Maynard Road, getting it ready for recycled gravel. So the highway is working on recycling some gravel. Basically, they're making it, and Marshall says this works out to be a savings around $20 a cubic yard. We'll be making roughly 2,000 yards, putting it in low trafficked roads around town and seeing how that works out. Paving on Chimney Hill's been completed. There should be center lines in October. Hopefully that'll take us through the winter. Buzzytown Park is still in his vision to complete through July, and that'll be, remember that's the embankment into the river. If you walk down towards that embankment, it's amazing how much of that is missing, how much of that bank is missing. It keeps encroaching, getting closer and closer. So they've done some work down there already. And you may have met our new transfer station building maintenance and groundskeeper, Peter. He has helped to move the swing set. He's put up a new backboard for a tennis court, painted lines for parking spots on the tennis court, installed signs at tennis court for us, repaired the raft down the Green Mountain Beach. He's working with WRCA on counting traffic, including the transfer station. And he took an online webinar for transfer station operations. Next month, I'd like to invite Senator Seth Bongards. He will visit and talk a little bit about legislation and a couple of other things I've asked him to talk about. But he said, well, what would be on everyone's mind? And so I thought I would volunteer education, since they may have made a few changes this year. But anyhow, he will come and he's willing to, I think he might stay for the meeting, but he's willing to have a chat with everybody here. We have a new national opioid settlement, and we'll be getting some paperwork on that. It's worth, well, the Sacklers, I saw where the Sacklers just made a settlement for $7.4 billion, but there's a whole bunch of other manufacturers that are included in this. So remember that money used to go to Voices, and they're having a change in their organization, and they're investigating another place where we might be interested in donating this money that comes to us in order to serve our population. The chief's involved in that conversation. We're going to meet with the group out of Ludlow, I think Tom, you're on Act 250 when they were putting up. It's a peer-to-peer treatment center, I believe. Is how I would describe it. And I forgot to put down the name, but do you remember the name? I did look it up today and I forgot to write it down. The MERP grant, we had the windows examined by Paula Sagerman. And she completed her work at the end of June. And based on that and some other things, I need to rewrite the scope of the project for the MERC grant. That was 313,000. That would include highway, town hall, and Memorial Hall for some efficiencies. Energy Committee is interested in placing solar on the public safety facility. I think I mentioned that before. The cost seems pretty high, but they're also investigating another approach to potentially rent the rooftop and purchase solar power back from the building. It's an interesting approach. Also, I think what I'd like to do for your next meeting is invite MSK engineers to talk about the state meeting that we just had on June 27th. The CEO, Peter Hennon, and several of his folks, along with the state dam program, one of the program engineers from the state is Stephen Hanna. But I'd like MSK to come and talk about what we need to do with the dam, Lake Rapana Dam. So that will be, is that the 19th? I think it's August 19th. So the reason why it could be important to have the engineers here talking with you as well as the senator is that there might be a way of getting us some money for the dam, but it's worth having that conversation early to see where it goes. I believe that's all I have for you tonight, except for executive session.
So the logs are gone. The logs are gone. The logs on East Main. Good job. That was you.
That was in process.
It's the next day or something like that, right?
No, that was in process before.
I know, but when they were gone, it was the next day after select board. Like that week at least.
It was that week.
Yeah.
It was that week.
You making any progress on the rest of that project?
Which project is that?
Sewer, water, sidewalks.
So right now, we are, I think we're still going out. Last I knew, we're still going out this fall for an RFP, and I am currently working with legal on the loan aspect to that. And there's another piece in terms of who does the work that I need to sit down and talk with John Lozelle again about. So there's some question about, do we dictate who should do the work because we already have people on the ground and time will be of the essence? Or do we coordinate with their private contractors? At any rate, that's one of those things that if people are happy, So I think the line that goes, the way it works, if I remember correctly, is that the new line will go within 5 feet of their building.
Okay.
And then they're gonna be responsible for the rest of the cost, but don't hold me to that, but I think that's what it is. So, and then that line will be the private line, so. We're still working on it, we're still trying to go out to RFP. Memorial Hall, we just went out to RFP for Memorial Hall. The floodgates, we had a pre-bid meeting, we had 2 electricians show up and 1 contractor. We sent the RFP out to a number of local contractors, and the engineers sent some out to some others, and we put it in Deerfield Valley News, so it's been out there and on our website and some other places that just pushes it out to. So, hopefully we get reasonable bids for it. And then we want that done this fall, before winter.
I have one more question, sorry. Bridge 31, I know that they're coming in August or September to make the presentation.
Don't hold me to that, but I'd like them to, yes.
Will they also include in their presentation how they're gonna make it last till that period? Because like every week that bump gets worse and worse.
And the state, every time I send them an email, the state is aware of it. They say we're aware of it, and then they send people, and it's It is what it is. I don't have
Sure,
any-
it shakes your
I don't have any-
office.
I don't have any control. No, actually, I don't feel a thing.
Yeah.
We hear the, the noise, it makes noise sometimes. But I think that's a good question. I have pointed that out to them, and I really haven't gotten much of a response. The only response we get is they will send people here periodically and they make adjustments or whatever it is that they do. So,
All right, folks, I'm going to go into executive session now. I would ask, Chief, you're going to stay, I hope, yeah.
That's by. Good night.
Are you the new reporter?
Yes, I am.
Who are you?
I'm Sierra.
Sierra.
Yes, yeah.
There's the mountains, right?
Sorry.
No, no. All right. What's your last name?
Over.
O'Hearn. O'Hearn.
good.
Your
Local
dad's
girl.
name Stephen?
Yeah, my dad's name is Stephen.
I know your dad.
Yeah, fine then.
Sierra and I have talked to her.
Very good. Are you enjoying it thus far?
Yeah.
Thanks. So who's running, the Captain Henry's still running the office?
Yeah, they're hoping, kind of transition into people from the comments.
Okay.
It's like a little bit of both right now.
Does Oldwood come over too? At all?
This is,
Oldwood?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very nice to meet you, Sierra. Okay, this is the two-step process. I moved that premature general public knowledge of possible purchase of property and personnel matter would clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I move to enter executive session under T1 VSA 313A3 to discuss real estate purchase and or a personnel matter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are now in executive session. Oh, I forgot you were still here.